Hi, I'm Jack the Goddess, and this is my new YouTube video. I'm doing 100 days, as you clicked on the title. You probably don't know me, but that's why we're here. Please like and subscribe, as is customary for YouTube analytics or whatever. You don't really have to. I'm not going to force you or anything. But all I hope is that you enjoy. I survived 100 days. That's something. I don't know how I forgot, but I totally forgot to mention thank you so much for 100 subscribers. It's a huge goal of mine to have this, and it means a lot. Thank you guys so much for being here. And, if you do subscribe, I am trying to get to 120 by the end of the year, which is not that far away. So if you want to, thanks. If not, that's okay. Bye. Day 0. As the world finally loaded, I started by gathering seeds and led some chickens to a hole to put them in temporarily. I climbed up a small hill and cut down some trees, made a crafting table, and in turn pickaxe and hoe by accident. I dug down for some cobble. I found a lava pool, which was kinda cool. As soon as I got the cobble to make new, better tools, of course I did, I went back up from getting cobble and dug into the side of a hill for shelter. Here's a really quick montage of me digging it out. When I was done, I went out to make a furnace, breed some chickens, and chop down some trees. I found 2 coal and then continued on my way to chop down all the trees in this forest. After getting a stack of logs, I made a shovel and dug out an area for a garden at the pond near the hill. That's a real big mouthful. I only had wheat seeds, so that'll have to do for now. I finally set up the hole to live in for the time being. It looked, well, like the first night in Minecraft. Well, that looked boring, so I put cobble in front of the door because it looked cool. I looked up and wow, it's nighttime. I finished up the look really quickly and ran around killing sheep for wool. I wanted to sleep through the first night. As soon as I finished getting the wool, I picked some flowers because I'm no troglodyte that sleeps in a basic bed. I dyed it yellow, dug the ceiling up a bit higher, just in case, and slept for the night. Day 1. So, I walked outside and then walked right back inside to make a sword because for some reason I didn't make one yet. I don't know how I got that far. Anyway, I walked outside just to walk back inside again. There seems to be a pattern. And got back to work on cooking some food. After he was done cooking, I went outside to do something. I can't really remember what. I think I was looking for a cave or something. I was running around for quite a while. You should be seeing some of it at least sped up. I killed a skeleton and found some sugarcane to plant for later. I needed a lot of sugarcane later. That's a story. I kept running around until I found a baby cave. It had some copper, which I mined because I really wanted copper blocks and some much needed coal. From there, I continued to explore around the land, found more coal on the side of a hill, chopped down more trees, found even more coal in an above-ground cave-type dealio, and ran home. I went to the lava pool and started to make a path around it to start a mine. My pickaxe broke as I barely started it, so I had to go make a new one. I got distracted and made a chest to put all the plant stuff away. What can I say? I got that ADHD life. I continued mining from there. I dug into a cave after a short amount of time, looked around a little bit because I'm not trying to die on day 1, found some iron, saw an axolotl, I'll be back for you, and a creeper. But as I explored a bit, just look at this. I got scared, so I went back up and mined the copper and vibed with the axolotl for a second. I left the pond and killed a zombie, got some iron, almost died from gravel, the fun stuff. Blocked up the lava and climbed my way back up. It was nighttime, so I went right to my base. I started to smelt some iron when a zombie tried to break my door, so I opened it and killed him, because you don't do that to a dude. And I slept for the night. Day 2. I woke up and made a shield and some boots, because it's day 2 and I don't have any armor or anything yet. I went outside and used some bone meal on the crops I planted on day 0, which hadn't grown at all for some odd reason since I planted them. I harvested what I could and replanted. I ran into the desert and got some cacti, sand, and more sugarcane. Also, there's this useless cave I found, so that's, cool. I went inside and got the rest of the sugarcane and replanted it at the farm pond I've got going. From the pond, I went back to the house and made an iron pickaxe and some fences. From there, I went to expand the chicken hole. Before I did that, I was thinking about moving them somewhere else, so I looked around and found a huge cave right in the middle of the field. I made a pen for some animals and killed this sheep for some reason. I tried to bring a sheep to the pen I made, but I got bored. So, I saw some cows and I led them instead. Plus, I like cows. This took a while, though. Finally, I expanded the chicken hole and made it easier to access. Went back to the base and made a smoker so I could cook food faster. I didn't have any food to actually cook, but I made it, so whatever. It was almost sunset, and then it started raining, so I slept for the night. So on day 3, I woke up and watched the rain stop. As I did, I ran over to the cave we found the day before and started to make a path downward into it. On the way down, I found copper and mined it, then continued down. At the bottom, there was some iron, so I mined it, but I also heard a zombie somewhere. I carefully lit up the cave and continued mining. I mined some copper ore further into the cave after getting a fair bit of iron and gravel. Watch. Yeah, so I dug through the gravel and went further in. So from here, I'm just gonna make a sped up version of what I did with some non-copyright music, so enjoy. So as I was mining deep slate for building purposes, I found this little dude. He's cute and I actually have iron to get him now, so that's exactly what I'm doing. I collected the stuff I was using and went on my way. I wanted to get this little guy home and out of the bucket, plus my inventory was full, so I didn't really have much of a choice. Well, I wish that's what I did. Instead I went down to a part of a cave I haven't gone down yet, to see many creepers. You're probably wondering why I'm doing it. Well, it's because I'm looking for that brown axolotl from the day 1, and yes, this is the wrong cave, but that's a problem for later. When I finally left the cave, it was nighttime, so I built a staircase, and there weren't actually very many mobs, so that's cool. In case you were wondering what all I got from the cave, I got a stack and 11 raw copper, 53 raw iron, and 2 buckets. I also got an axolotl and a stack and 15 of deep slate for building. A stack and 13 redstone for whatever, I guess. I don't really use redstone, so it didn't really matter to me. It was turning to morning, so I didn't sleep. Alright, day 4. On the very early morning of day 4, I put the axolotl in the pond for now until I could make it a nicer house. After that, I ran inside and started to smelt some copper and some iron for tools and cool new copper stuff. I went back out and tended to the wheat farm, sugarcane, and bred some cows. I took the sugarcane to make paper to make a cartography table because I needed a map room eventually with a 3x3 spot on the wall because, that's one of my goals. Anyway, I actually started to make a map, but just ran out of paper to make it bigger, so I had to find some on the river nearby, which thankfully had some. Finally, I made a new chest to put some stone stuff into so I can stay organized. Wow, that did not stay organized whatsoever. I ran and grabbed some wood from around the forest for my new house. My axolotl seems to want to go on land a lot, so I think I'm gonna have to make that a new enclosure soon, or expand the pond at least. I started clearing off the top of the hill because I'm planning to build my house up here soon, and with the night falling, I finished up and ran to the base, where I got the resources I smelted from mining the previous day, made armor, put it on, and went to bed. So I start day 5 by pushing my axolotl into his pond because he seems to like to explore. From there I went to the top of the hill to make a new shovel to really finish off the landscaping. If anybody knows what Minecraft YouTubers use to record themselves doing large builds from a third-person perspective, please tell me in the comments or something, because it could really be useful for videos and I have literally zero idea what it is. And I'm too lazy to research, so if you could do that for me, that'd be rad. Moving on. After cleaning it out a bit better, I went to make some copper blocks and went to find a place for them, but saw our axolotl getting out of the water again, so I went and pushed him back in and made it a little deeper for him to swim in. After that, I did general farm stuff, bred cows, led sheep, farm stuff. I made the sheep a hole to stay in like the chickens until I know where to put them. I sheared them, collected some eggs, and went back inside to put everything in the farm chest. Back to the hill. All the trees were finally cleared out, so I started putting blocks to mark the house. I wanted to make it look a little less blocky, so I put stairs to make it look somewhat cool and made it a weird L shape. I ran out of cobble stairs, so I had to get more, but when I finished, I put the okay, so I guess I didn't wait to get the stairs. I put logs in the front to show where the porch would be for an entrance. It was dark when I finished all that, so I slept the night away. I had a long day of building in mind for the next day, though. I already recorded from day 6 to 19, but I sounded really bad because it was like 4 a.m., so I'm just gonna run through it really quick. On day 6, I went outside to build the house. It has beams. Wow. Finished the stair thing. Made a beam between them. Whoa. Ran out of wood, so I chopped down a forest. Don't tell Mr. Beast. Wow. Made walls of birch, but happened later. Made copper block sleep. Alright, day 7. Axolotl likes pond. I did gardening. Zombies dropped a carrot and cooked potato. Bred cows and sheep. Made glass for windows. I like windows. Check out Nakatalili Minecraft playthrough. I bred chickens, made carpet. Checkered is easy. I killed a squid, but I don't know why because I never used that ink sac. Made a chest for miscellaneous things and killed some fish and food in the desert. ADHD. Worked on the house and made windows. I really like windows. Placed crafting table inside. Sun go down. I sleep. Day 8. Look around, cut down trees, work on house, finish last window, and cut down more trees. Here's that part where I placed all the oak with birch planks. Axe broke, made a new one, continued replacing walls, made stairs to the next floor, and started flooring. Ran out of birch. I went inside the base to get oak stairs. To make staircase down, I needed it for easier access. I really like how it looks, so I was very happy with myself in the building. I went and sheared sheep, collected egg, bred chickens, and went to bed. Alright, so day 9 started like blah blah usual. Wheat, cow, you know the drill. So I got fish I made a few days ago. It started chopping down more birch trees for the next floor. Day 9 was kind of boring, so here's a quick bit of me making the house and stuff. Most interesting part was at the end, a skeleton came to attack the door and I killed it. I'm getting tired of saying I went to bed and I woke up and, that. So, from here on, I'm probably only going to say it once or twice. Otherwise, whatever. And moving on. Day 10, it was kind of boring. At first, I killed the creeper, did gardening stuff, collected eggs, bred things. But after that, I finally started the first map, so that was cool. On the way around the edges of the map, I used a boat to sail around for a while. On the little, ocean river opening thing, I went into a desert and I killed this rabbit. From there, I just kind of ran around to cover the edges, killed some cows for leather because I really needed it for the bookshelves. Around the top left corner of the map, there was this desert village that I stumbled on, which was really cool. So I made my presence known by, of course, stealing their hard-earned resources and trading it back to them like a true businessman. I checked every house looking for a chest, but I don't think any had one, so I just kind of went on my own way. But right next to the village was a ruined nether portal, so I took what I wanted from the chests and the gold block and went back to the village for the night. So although I did sleep eventually, I actually wanted XP, so I killed a solid amount of mobs. So, with all the mobs that I killed, I actually did kill 2 Endermen, and when I was reviewing the footage, I didn't notice. So this is just kind of an axe, like a secondary thing. But I got, both of them dropped Ender Pearls, which was absolutely insane. So, that was nice. On day 11, I left the village as the sun rose and went on my way around the map to fill it out more. Right as I started, I found a pretty large ravine and had to bridge across it and dig out of it. After that, I just kind of ran around this huge desert. So as I hit the edge where the plains biome met the desert biome, I found a group of pillager scouts looking for trouble. I'm not quite equipped enough to take them on yet, so I just keep going. I was back in the desert, the never-ending desert. So a little bit further, I saw a weird-looking rock formation in a river. Apparently, I found an amethyst geode, which was, well, A, beautiful, and B, I never actually thought I would find it, because I thought they were much more rare. But it was so pretty, and it was kind of miraculous. So I took the blocks from it, and I just kind of continued on my way. You know, I wanted to make it home right before night fell. That didn't happen. On the way again, I found a shipwreck on the shore of a beach that had potatoes in it, so I finally had those to plant. I really like, I don't know, I just like the diversity of all these different plants being together. I'm really glad Minecraft added, like, you know, moss blocks and all this new stuff, and I'm hoping there's another update for it, but, yeah. So after the shipwreck, I sailed on to connect the map parts. I found a desert and ran through it at night, which kind of sucked. It turned out to be the desert near my house, though. What the? It's my house! Bruh, dude, I'm home. Sick. Good timing. So as soon as I saw the house, I went there and went to bed. On day 12, I made more bread and stored a potato just in case the one I'm planting gets lost or something happens to it. After tending to the farm, I made a spyglass because they look so cool. I kept it on me for the rest of the playthrough. The first bit of the day, I just built the roof to my house. Also, dude, look how far the spyglass can see. After I ran out of the deep slate for the roof, I put copper blocks next to the entrance to the base so I can see them oxidize. It just feels like history, like the Statue of Liberty, you know? Except the French gave us a big lady when we didn't have... That's a story for history class, or you could play Pop Tropica. Does anybody remember Pop Tropica, actually? Anyway, from the copper blocks, I ran around to finish up the map for the last half of the day. During that time, I found a desert temple and almost fell on the pressure plate, but, you know. That could have been the end. I'm just too lucky for that kind of stuff. I found a bunch of bones, some emeralds, 2 enchanted books, gunpowder, and a saddle. I also took the TNT, of course. It was already dark when I came back up and I got scared of the outside, so I climbed up to the top layer of the room and blocked it up so I would be safe for the night. I didn't bring a bed like an idiot, so I ran around and stopped a few times to watch the night pass, frantically running around, blocking up holes and making the roof bigger to see the sky. As I'm looking at the footage, I'm just so bored, so I look at the moon like 10 times with the spyglass and throw around the emeralds for no reason. I'm going crazy. It's really fun to watch. A spider gave me a serious fright running around the roof and falling in. And as I was looking at this, the skeleton was shooting me, so you could just watch this stuff.
I can feel it in my bones, yeah, and I can feel it when we're talking on the phone, yeah. Can you? I bet you do, you do. And I don't need no prayers from me. I'm lucky staying afloat up in this economy. I swear to God, I'm trying to find the time to be myself, second guessing and double checking my mind like someone else.
And let's go. Day done. Day done. On day 13, I was still in the temple when a skeleton was shooting me, and I watched the sun come out and I ran for the hills to finish up this map. When I finally finished up the map, I ran home. I made an item frame right as I got home to put the map on. I'm just so proud of myself, dude. I'm gonna show a still frame of the map. So look at this desert, because it is the whole thing, like a solid, like I'm gonna say 90%. I'm not actually looking at it right now, but I'm gonna say it's about 90% of this map. So I made doors for the house, front and back, just so it could be an easy access for any occasion. I went back downstairs and grabbed the furnaces, crafting table, anything else I could use to make stuff, and brought it up. I'm finally gonna make this house a home. Even if it isn't finished yet, I do have basic shelter, and that's fine with me, at least for the time being. It's better than sleeping in a cave. After doing some more stuff to the house, I dug under it, trying to connect to the base I already had, but went past it into the lava room. Safely, of course. I did not die. For some reason, I'm trying to do the cool speedrun nether portal trick, but forgot entirely what I was doing. So I dug into the underground base to connect it. I'm really just freaking out here. I really want to connect these tunnels, man. I finally just used the Y coordinate to get the right level and then expanded the room to make it a suitable basement for my new house. I didn't finish that yet, but I had the general idea, so I finish up and go to the snooze land. So, this is the first time it's gonna be like multiple days, you know, I'm here, it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty radical and badical. So, basically what happens is I mine for 3 days, and I found some diamonds, and here's just kind of a general, like a very sped up version. I'm probably gonna give it like a minute, you know, of just going, you know. So, here you go. So I left the mine, and I worked on the house all day. On day 17, I watched the sun rise, made a diamond pickaxe, checked the copper for oxidization, which they didn't even start for another 10 to 20 days. Made an iron sword because my stone one broke the day before in the cave. I just watched the nameless axolotl and talked to myself for a second, acting like the turtle from Finding Nemo. Really love this dude. He's my man. Sean. I killed some skeletons in the cave under our house. I was looking for the axolotl I found on the first few days. I found out where it was by watching the first few days, like the playbacks of everything, and so I wanted to get it, but unfortunately I think it despawned, or something happened to it. So I went back up disappointed, and I used the lava to make the nether portal and mine some obsidian for an enchanting table. I went downstairs to expand the basement for an enchanting room and just general purposes, so here's a sped up version. I worked on the basement throughout the night. I made the floor cool looking with some variations of deep slate, and I think it looks so cool. Very much my proudest room in the house. I made some lanterns to make the house look nicer lighting wise, and made sure there weren't any dark spots because one creeper at the wrong time is just a really, really big fear of mine. I touched up the basement a little bit, and I made as many books and bookshelves as I could, which was only one shelf. But I did end up sleeping 2 minutes before the sun would have come up, which was kind of a waste, but whatever. On day 18, I organized my inventory, made wheat, and went outside to see a creeper just waiting politely outside before being angry at me and exploding. I fixed it and whatever I salvaged, but I had to improvise mostly, and that was just what it looked like for the rest of the playthrough. After fixing what I could, I bred the cows and harvested the leather. I felt really bad for the baby cows afterward, though. I feel really bad. I just left the kids. What must be done is, what happened. So I went inside and placed the smoker. I spelt it wrong in the script. I placed the smoker down to cook the meat I just got. Went out to harvest the sugarcane for more paper and made 12 books, which made 2 shelves because I didn't have enough wood to finish it up yet. So I went downstairs and got the wood I needed. I made 2 axes instead of making bookshelves, which was probably smart. Look at past me thinking in junk. While getting some wood for random stuff, I found a little underground pond and a small cave that I do nothing with. I finished getting wood and ran home. I made the next 2 bookshelves and placed them. The enchanting table room floor has amethyst. I didn't notice before, reviewing it. I guess I put in amethyst and whatever. 13 more. On day 19, I work on the house. Right in the middle of putting windows in, I see pillagers ready to attack at literally any moment. They didn't want to leave me alone for a long time, I think all day and most of the night, so I just kept building the house until it was nighttime.
Something changed, and I don't wanna feel this way. I don't wanna feel this way, no. Something changed, and I don't wanna feel this way. I don't wanna feel this way, no. I can feel it in my bones, yeah, and I can feel it when we're talking on the phone, yeah. Can you? I bet you do, you do. I don't need no prayers for me. I'm lucky staying afloat up in this economy. I swear to God, I'm trying to find the time to be myself. Second guessing and double checking my mind like someone else. Something changed, and I don't wanna feel this way. I don't wanna feel this way, no.
I couldn't sleep because of the pillagers. I actually forgot about them until this point. Monsters? Are they in my basement? So I just made a bow, didn't use it, and went out and got rid of them. So here's me being sick and awesome and rad. Fun fact, I actually did use the bow right after I killed those guys to kill a spider. On day 20, I just kind of relished in what I had so far. Thinking about what's to come, probably. This is the furthest I've ever been in one of these recordings, so I relaxed and messed around, working on the little stuff, like farming, breeding some cows. The basement needed a little touch-up, so I did that. I put some stuff away, stuff like that. The only real thing I started to do was make maps to fill out later. After I started one, I went back to expand it and put some stuff away. On days 21 through 22, I ran outside to work on the new map I started. While I went around, it was kind of uneventful. But I did find a ruined portal in the middle of a frozen ocean, which is pretty neat. I got some spruce while I was in the area, mined a bit, found some goats, llamas, and finally made it back home. On day 23, I made some bookshelves, but I was running out of material to make books still, which was really not great. I didn't find any extra sugarcane, so I planted the spruce trees, collected eggs, smelted some raw gold I had, and made one book because I really wanted to make more shelves. I worked on the carpet a little bit. Oh, dude, I did use the ink sac for black wool. I was running out of stuff to do, so I cut down some trees, found a cave, and a lot of creepers. The mobs were overwhelming me, so I just went back out and ate. Whenever I was done with the cave, I milked the cow and drank the milk to get rid of bad omen. And I finally placed those bookshelves I made and installed some stairs so I didn't have to jump up anymore. And lastly, I just worked on the roof until morning. So on day 24, I trapped a zombie villager in the house last second before the sun came up. After that, I continued working on the roof. I would say I forgot about the villager, but he was so loud it was hard to do, and it made me think, I don't want him to escape. So I blocked up the hole to the lava room. After that, I chopped down some spruce trees and took some leaves to make it look a little more alive around the area. Once that was done, I went inside and got the gold I was smelting and put it away for later. From there, I went into the basement and dug open a hole for the villager to stay in until I could cure him. I closed it up with him under the ground. Yeah, that could never go wrong. Anyway, I continued on the roof for the rest of the day. So, on days 25 through 27, I made 4 iron pickaxes and enchanted all 4 of them for some reason, hoping to get a decent enchantment on at least one. I ended up getting a few pickaxes that were nice. I ran outside and went mining again. This time, I wanted as many diamonds as I could get. I journeyed to the desert village because I remembered there were some caves that I almost fell into at some point and wanted to explore them for some shiny treasures. I towered up to check if I could see any caves. I felt really cool using this telescope though, so that took a little bit, but I did actually find a cave, so I went right in. Here's a quick sped up version of what I did because it took a very, very long time. And I did end up with 20 diamond ore because I got a silk touch pickaxe. I mined 9 other diamonds without it though because I didn't realize I could do that. But I need that enchanting room up so I can get a fortune pickaxe to multiply these diamonds I got. And in the morning of day 28, I finally resurfaced and built a little makeshift thing to kill an enderman. And then went by the turtles, stole their eggs, and began to make my way home. I found an axolotl somewhere in the cave, but I can't remember where, but now we have 2. And having 2, I needed a bigger tank to put them in, and that's a thing later. I went inside to put my stuff away and checked on the zombie villager, but unfortunately he despawned before I could cure him. So I sadly put my stuff away, then I got over it and bred the animals, gathered sand, put more carpet in the house, put more stuff away, expanded the stairs to the lava room, and moved the bed and slept. So day 29 started off a bit rough. Alright, so I slaughtered the cows for leather. Next, I decided to mine the basement quite a bit. This time, it isn't to make it bigger for no reason. It's actually to put a tank for the axolotls I had. I don't go to the pond as often as I'm inside, so I thought it could be a good idea. When I felt it was good enough for the day, I went out, placed some copper blocks, bred some animals, and continued on the project for the rest of the day. We finally made it 30 days. Wow. I started by harvesting the sugarcane and getting a lot of sand for the tank. I filled the bottom layer of the tank with sand and tried giving it a bit of depth. I went out and placed more copper blocks and then continued on the tank. I started to put the water in, started to grow some kelp to make it look cool. I also spawned a baby chicken in it. He stuck around for the whole 100 days, which was really cool. I started to smelt some glass for the front of the tank, but it was oddly placed in the room, so I had to fix it up before I actually put in the glass. When I was done with that, I started to fill it up with water and stopped to put a door in because I'm not getting stuck in there. Anyway, when I felt there was enough water, I wanted the chicken to get out so he wouldn't drown. It took some real engineering, but I got him out eventually. On day 31, apparently I worked throughout the night. I didn't even notice, kind of like real life. I went back to the tank to put some sea pickles for lighting. Apparently, they don't multiply like flowers with bone meal. Fun fact, I forgot to show me getting these pickles in the desert village, but that's where they're from. After that, I took the axolotls from the pond outside, named them CJ and Franklin, put them in their new home, and lit it up a bit more. After I took CJ and Franklin from the pond, I actually took all the crops out and started a new project, the greenhouse. This building will be the beginning of our little cottage type situation, but I quickly realized that it's going to take a lot of time to finish, so I replanted the stuff in the pond and slept. On day 32, I really started by working on the greenhouse, just trying to figure out a shape and what's gonna go there. I decided to use spruce to make it feel cozier, even though I won't be living in it, of course. I spent all day doing this. The last thing I did was breed the cows, though. Some things just don't change. On day 33, I grabbed some glass I started to smelt the day before and played around with some more designs on the greenhouse. Again, I really needed one of those cool mods where it watches you build from a third-person perspective. Those are so cool. Also, getting a Silk Touch pickaxe is the absolute best thing. I ran out of resources I needed at the time, so I went back inside and made some more bookshelves. But of course, I'm still running low on all that too. So after exhausting all that, I grew one of those big spruce trees and chopped it down for more logs and then continued working. This baby zombie was the first of many undead dudes to come at me, but of course I'm not going to be Filza, so I just keep building. And then this creeper blows up right on the build. So I made it easy, not just for myself to jump up there, but apparently not so friendly guys too. This was the only problem I had though. On day 34, I finally started the front windows to the place, and the base, but still had a long way to go. I ran out of resources, so I went to finish off that large spruce tree and watch these pillagers. They're still over there. They're just playing Ring Around the Rosie. Like, they're literally doing nothing but that. What are you doing? They're actually playing Ring Around... Bet you they have a pocket full of posies too. They didn't leave for a while, so I just kind of continued what I was doing and put more glass on the sidewalls and finally started to plant things. I needed many crops for food. Although my steak numbers definitely weren't going down, I thought it'd be nice to have some more food around. So I continued working on the house when these guys came to see how I was doing. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, just keep talking. There's 5 of them. That's a big unit. What nice neighbors. They broke my shield even though it was over halfway full when they started attacking me, but I guess having that many dudes attacking me at once will have that effect on it. I made a new shield and took care of them. After that was dealt with, I continued on the greenhouse and replaced some crops. I greeted my chicken. Hey dude. And slept. On day 35, I did the usual morning stuff and got some sand to finish up the greenhouse. But these guys... I'm so much further now than I was. This one still doesn't... Okay. I don't know how long they've been here, but... They see me now, even though I'm further than I was. It doesn't matter. I got a stack and went to smelt it. While that does its thing, I made a little pathway to get from the basement to the farm easier and faster. I made it look pretty nice when I was done. Speaking of done, I finally finished the greenhouse, so that's really cool. It took a few days, but it was all worth it. It was nice, and it gets better over time. And with that accomplishment, I decided to sleep for the night. I started off day 36 by organizing some chests. Thrilling, I know. From there, I hatched some chickens and dismantled the old farm 1 block at a time. I was getting tired of these pillagers eyeing me down, so I took them out and then the squid died. Also, I thought it would be a nice idea if I brought fish for the axolotls to eat, which they didn't eat, but they did kill really quickly. I finished quite a bit the day before, so I decided to finish up the map I hadn't finished yet. But before I did that, I made a couple more bookshelves and, oh, the sun's about to set. So instead of the map, I decided to remake the floor in that hallway. I just admired my basement for a second too. It was just so pretty and it was still my favorite room by far. I was actually planning on making the entire hill into a big aquarium for CJ and Franklin. It didn't really come to reality, but maybe I'll do 200 days if you guys enjoy this one enough. I worked on the basement throughout the night. On day 37, I began the day as the sun was rising really early, and I ran into the desert, but reviewing this, I thought I was going to start the map, but I ended up killing an Enderman instead, and then I got some salmon for the boys. They didn't really seem to care about the second one yet, and while I'm admiring them, a skeleton tried to assassinate me. So that's fun. And oh yeah, here it is. I did end up working on the map that day. While I was exploring, I was looking for more axolotls to take home, and I came across an underwater ravine, which is where they usually are, but I didn't find any. But I did find a cool sunken ship and a glow squid, so I took the loot from the chests, which was iron, and oh my god, a creeper in a sunken ship almost ended the whole playthrough. And I found a pumpkin, and took the treasure map. The sun was going down, so I chopped down a tree and sheared a sheep to make a bed. On day 38, sparing that sheep was useless because the first thing I saw were 2 wolves above what used to be the sheep. What? I wasn't gonna waste it. I was looking underwater for an axolotl again, and this drown got me spooked. Oh my gosh. Okay. I found my first village with a blacksmith and took their diamond, and that was kind of all they had, aside from a brewing stand. Day 40, I tested my luck with a creeper outside my window, and then I just walked out the back and heard another one right next to me. And right after that, a skeleton. Just not my day so far. But I'm MLG Pro, so nothing happened. I made some copper blocks to watch them oxidize and give the basement a bit of texture with colors. From there, I made some more bookshelves, and I thought I was really close to finally finishing the enchanting room setup, so I got one more leather, but forgot that I needed more sugarcane, so I think I realized and then needed some of that sugary goodness. Dude, look at this. I made 4 golden apples just because I'm so wealthy. And I got tired of waiting for the sugarcane, so I ran around trying to find more and ended up in a village that I hadn't been to before. I traded a bit and then hit the villagers trying to save them from a zombie and yada yada, so they didn't really like me anymore. On day 41, I just goofed off in the village, blew up a creeper, killed a bunny, you know, the works. I ran back home and did some stuff around the house. I made some compasses, and then I remember you need paper for maps, so everything I wanted to do was kind of taken up by paper I didn't have. So I went down to the lava room and got rid of the lava, and then placed lava in the stairway to keep mobs out. I also blocked up the stair. Why didn't I just do that first? What's wrong with me? Anyway, I saw the sugarcane grow a little bit, so I grabbed it like the greedy little gremlin I am. I ran over to the greenhouse and took all the crops and replanted them. I bred the cows and then slept for the night, in real life and in game. On day 42, I decided to try my hand at a creeper, but it didn't go well. After that, I realized I hadn't gotten any acacia trees yet, so I chopped one down and continued around to find cod. Why cod, you ask? The axolotls deserve something exotic. Actually, now that I think about it, it's probably what they usually eat. Well, whatever, I did it. After that, it turned to nighttime, but I wanted the sugarcane to grow, so I just did stuff in the house all night. So I just stood there, looking around for a while. On day 43, after literally watching plants grow, I had some unwanted guests around the house, and I had to sneak out the back to catch them off guard. Oh, look, I finally put the cod in the tank today. Thought I did it yesterday. Whatever. I went back outside and decided that the sugarcane should probably grow better in the greenhouse, so I renovated it to grow some in there. I stand there all night waiting for the sugarcane to grow again. On day 44, night turned into day, and I heard a peculiar groan, not like a regular zombie groan. I investigated it, and it was a villager zombie, so that's nice. And P.S., this one doesn't despawn. I trapped it in the same hole that the other one was in for a while. I wanted the pieces of the floor back, so I tried to grab them with the fishing rod, and this takes a while to actually get him out of the way to get it without hurting him. Anyway, I just block it up, and he annoys me for at least 10 more days. And so I entered the greenhouse, and to my surprise, standing there all night wasn't useless. I managed to get 4 sugarcane from it. I spent the whole day working on the farm. I spent yet another night having the sugarcane grow, but this time, to be sure, I actually stayed in the greenhouse. I wanted to make sure it looked cool, sped up, so here you go. On day 45, I emerged from my watery bed and proceed to look an Enderman right in the eyes. I didn't get a pearl out of it, but that's fine. And I saw this weird cow in the pen. That's a weird cow. Also, I got enough sugarcane to make one more bookshelf. I just needed 2 more, so I thought at the time. I was in the middle of farming when... There's a lot of them. Oh my gosh. Oh, oh, no. Oh my gosh. Oh, there's a few. There's a few of them there, baddies. Maybe I'll sleep tonight. Maybe that's a good idea. Are you just swarming me? Is my house being swarmed? Too bad. So, I'm really sorry, but the footage for day 46 just stopped for no reason. I got the me going back to the desert village part, but it's just like 2 minutes worth of it, so I'm sorry. I do have day 47 though, but just a bit after I woke up. Anyway, I went out exploring and I started another map. I was trying to get any good enchantment on my diamond pickaxe, but I couldn't get any. So I checked the bookshelf levels and stuff, and I was literally just getting unlucky. Oh, and I finished the bookshelves, by the way. I didn't even realize. Probably on day 46, if I'm honest. Anyway, I wanted to get some use from my bow for creepers, so I went downstairs and got as much gravel as the old lava room could give me. I didn't really want to get any further than that. And I dug until I got a decent amount of flint for arrows. I killed some of the chickens, most of the chickens for feathers, and made half a stack of arrows out of my first batch. Did I forget to mention I'm only getting arrows to kill mobs for EXP? Yeah, I need levels to get Fortune 3 on the Iron Pick. I fought mobs throughout the night and only got 2 levels out of it. That's kind of bunk, you know. So on days 48 through 49, I decided to go out down to the old cave and mine for levels. It's efficient. And I went down to the pond where the brown axolotl was, but still no luck. I was just kind of hoping. And I saw and heard a lot of skeletons, so I thought there might be a spawner somewhere. I decided to try and find it, but long story short, I found a zombie spawner instead. I dug out the bottom of the spawner and put water on the floor so it would push them to a corner where I could easily just beat them down. The baby zombies gave me a proper scare though, not cool, so I made slabs to counteract that. I grinded for probably half an hour and mined iron and coal and etc. to get some more levels on the side too. I tried to upgrade it as I went, and eventually, when I had 29 levels, I dug up in the staircase shape. I was right where I needed to be, funny enough. I dug right into the old lava room. I went into the house and got distracted. I made some armor stands and put all the new armor I had on them, and it looked really cool, so I just kept them there. It made me think of where I've been, even though I just got them from zombies. History is important. Know where you came from, where you started, and stuff like that. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Night turned into day. Days 50 through 52. I climbed back down to the zombie spawner and got more EXP. I really needed that fortune. I'm halfway through and I haven't even lit my nether portal yet, so I really need those diamonds. I finally got 38 EXP, and I'm still getting levels, so wait, I'm not going back. I think I'm just getting some extra levels just in case I need them. Also, I know my zombie spawner is inefficient, but this is the first one I've ever made, so cut me some slack. I'll try and make it better if I do 200 days. So I run upstairs to make more iron pickaxes, but to nothing. I just kept trying to enchant my diamond one, but I enchanted and disenchanted my iron pickaxe a few times, and there it was. I hurried down to the spawner to get those 8 levels, and I ended up mining a lot around the area to try and get a lot of zombies to spawn as I mined and got the XP. It was an alright amount of zombies. I got 2 levels, and the gold chest plate went to 3 zombies before I got it. So after a solid hour of grinding, I did it. 30 levels. I ran as fast as I could to the enchanting table and got the Fortune 3 enchant. I took all the diamond ore out and mined all of it. I'm so glad I got Silk Touch early on, or else this wouldn't have been possible. I ended up with 53 diamonds in total. I threw them around the room in such happiness, I immediately made a full set of armor, totally forgetting I made boots beforehand. I stored the rest, but now I can finally start my second goal, getting full netherite armor. Alright, time to get serious. I make some arrows because tomorrow I go to the nether. I need blaze rods, and hold on, all the sugarcane is finally growing faster? That's kind of rude, I'm not gonna, whatever. I'm gonna go to the nether, the most dangerous place in Minecraft, the end of most hardcore playthroughs. I enchant my sword with sharpness 1 and rename it. After I feel ready for the next day, I sleep for the night. I have a big day tomorrow. So from days 53 through 55, I'm going to start in order here, but on day 53, I walked downstairs and looked around the room one last time and lit the portal. And entered the portal. The moment I got there, I knew I was going to get screwed over because it was in a basalt delta, which if you don't know, is mostly lava and magma cubes, which is very annoying to deal with. So I surveyed the area and mined what I could to get across, and then I was on my way across the nether. I mined down until it opened back up, and I could see a warp forest. I just kind of crossed it and collected some mushrooms for more plants to have around, and mined the wood for, well, wood. When I decided I was done with the forest, I continued to the lava lake, mining and building so as to not die in the lava lake. In retrospect, it probably wasn't a great idea to just go across the lava and die off the bat, but whatever. About 15 minutes later, I found the nether fortress. I blocked up the lava, and I made my way in. Right off the bat, I did fight a blaze, but unfortunately, the rod fell into lava, so I just kind of continued looking for a spawner. I wanted to be in and out, but that didn't happen. I was there for a lot longer than I would have liked, so I kept running around for a bit, and then I found a spawner pretty early on, and then they almost killed me, and here's the bit of me almost dying a bunch. I was down to 2 hearts. Here's a sped up portion of what I did. I was freaking out. I'm freaking out. I can't see. I can't see. Oh, it's bright. He's right outside. Ah, there's a lot. Okay, great. Nice for me. I got a blaze rod up there. What happened to it? Come to... Oh, that's a lot of lag. I don't know what's going on there. Yep, come on, come on. Is this normal? I don't know. I don't do this. I've never had to. I only play multiplayer. Worst idea, bad idea. When I felt I was set on blaze rods, I tried to make it out of the fortress, and on my way out my shield broke. Apparently, there were a lot of spawners because the blazes were crazy. There were a lot of them. Also, when I first entered the nether, I typed in the coordinates like a genius, so I found my way out and ran like the wind. On the way, I got Return to Sender achievement, so yay. Eventually, I decided to mine for some netherite on the way. I didn't find any, so I just ran to the portal and went back home. I thought I was finally done with this place, so I just slept. So on days 56 through 58, I leave the house and ran to do some map making. I started my third or fourth map. I can't really keep track anymore, but I write it and expand it. After that, I decided to take my fortune pickaxe and to bed this time. Oh, it looks like I'm working on 2 maps at once, actually, and it's a so it's third and fourth. Anyway, they were right next to each other, so I started them both at the same time. And on the way, I found another axolotl and a shipwreck with some iron, a treasure map, and a book in it. Also, moss, which was amazing for building. Also, just to mention it, I saw cows and passed right by them. I also found some sugarcane and replanted it. It all felt really good not to need them anymore and not destroy entire ecosystems. So after that, I found dark oak wood and grabbed some logs and saplings. On day 59, I slept in a desert, and not long after, I woke up and found another desert temple just laying around, being abandoned. I got a golden apple and horse armor and some TNT. And next I found a shipwreck in the same desert, nothing in it, but I think whoever they were had to leave the ship after crashing into the river because it's like at the end of a river. It's, you know, whatever. Eventually I made it home and put all the stuff I collected from the journey away. Around the end of the day, I finally had the stuff I needed to make the zombie villager into a regular villager, and rename my axolotl Mr. Minecraft after what I think might be my longest lasting stream viewer. But it's been a while, so after giving the villager the effect, I walked upstairs and slept for the night. On day 60, there was a hole in my roof, so I patched it up and moved my bed. I went to check on the villager, but he's still a zombie, so I just looked really closely at him, and that's all I did for a lot of the day, until he really did become a villager. When he didn't turn really quickly, I got bored and ran outside to try and pass some time and fill out the map more, and on the way out, I got the achievement, which meant he finally turned into a villager. I never used the villagers that I got for trading in my home, mostly because I just wanted some company, but anyway, I explored the rest of the day. So day 61, I explored most of the day, and around the time I finished the map, I found an underwater ravine with a bunch of axolotls, more than I've ever seen before. One was hurt and then it healed itself by playing dead, so I killed the drown that it was attacking it, and eventually found my way home. Another map done and feeling good, I left the villager out and he got stuck on the carpet upstairs. So I let him in and he seemed interested in my bed, so I kicked him out of it. On day 62, I began another map. I have a new Frostwalker enchantment I found, and I started right off in the ocean, so it worked out. So I filled out the maps, but it was pretty slow and it worked off a lot of hunger, so I just sailed. And at some point I found myself in an underwater ravine again, and an axolotl was getting hurt from the magma blocks, so I decided to save it from certain death, which was awesome for me because I finally had a brine axolotl, and after that I just kind of continued on my way. On day 63, I found a horse and decided to ride it to finish up the map ASAP. I couldn't fit him in the boat, so I just rode him around the edges of the ocean as far as I could, but eventually I had to get rid of him. I made a tower next to him so I could find him later, and did an MLG water bucket and said goodbye to my friend. On the way, I found a water temple. I didn't go into it, but I did find it. I eventually finished up the map and headed home. Oh, and on the way, I found another amethyst geode. I think this is my third one, and I took some blocks and continued on my way. It was really close to the house, which was also nice, and it was nighttime, so I actually made it home, which was rad. But I entered my house, and then I heard somebody drinking a potion and an extra villager noise, so I investigated and saw a llama. I killed the llamas and spared the guy anyway. So from day 64 to 65, I bought some small drift leaf from the wandering trader, and I learned that I couldn't break drip leaves normally, but I thought whatever. That sucks. So I just took what I had and I made the basement look a little more alive by putting moss and stuff around it, which was all worth it. It looks pretty rad. Hey, look at this. You can take one moss block and it'll turn the surrounding blocks into moss also, which is really good because you can just multiply it. And I guess that's just how moss would, it's fine. So I used bone meal on it, and you can also get some really nice azalea trees from it, so I took those and put them in front of the house. And now, with my house looking green, I just worked on it and the farm. Oh, also, there's a zombie pigman walking around the house now, and with all that done, I renamed the axolotl Harry because my girlfriend told me to, and I slept. On day 66, I decided to make a wall around the entirety of my house area so the villager can go inside and out as he pleases, whether it be day or night. That's all I did that day, though. On day 67, I did some general gardening stuff, and then it went mining for some coal so I can light up the outside really well. As I started, 2 creepers blew up together, and I descended into the mine. And then another one blew up on the spawner stairs. There has to be a skeleton spawner down here, because there are 5 skeletons right here. Never mind. When I came out, I lit everything up as best I could, and at some point I started to make a base for a villager's house, and I worked on that specific house through the night, and it looks like the torches worked because I didn't need to fight anything inside my walls. And on day 68, I made the floor, walls, windows, basically everything for this house except for a roof. The roof took a long time. When I felt ready, I moved him in via boat and put his job block inside, lit it up, and voila, done. So from days 70 through 72, I just finished up the roof on that first villager's house, and I started work on a second house for the next villager I don't have yet, but, it's mostly just for looks anyway. And I really like building, so, it's not really a big deal. I'm not very good at it, but I pick up tips here and there from YouTube and friends and servers and, junk like that. But when the walls were up, I finally put some pathways from my house to the other houses. On day 73, I went into the nether. Nice change of pace, huh? I saw one of the chickens from the house walk into lava. Very sad. Anyway, I wanted netherite, so I started mining up, and then looked up the coordinates, and then mined down. Then, per usual, I got distracted, and then started grinding ender pearls, which worked out in my favor. I mined down again eventually, and didn't get anything, so I just grinded again. On my way around to find a area to mine in, I fell into lava. I survived, but it happened. Kind of a lackluster trip. But I left without really getting anything. But a zombie villager spawned, so I quickly trapped him and went to cure him. Doing this almost killed me, funny enough. On day 74, I quickly ran around trying to get some stuff to cure him, and eventually he was a villager again. But for now, I did other stuff. Like try to grab the blocks around the zombie to put them back, and look at the axolotls for a while. After I just did whatever, I got him out of the villager hole and got him a job. He automatically was a cleric, which was cool, so I'm not really going to complain about it. I'm just doing my thing when a third villager zombie comes up from the old mine, so I cured him, and that was the rest of the day. Alright, so this is going to be the longest stretch, I think, for the next few days. Days 75 through 81. We're finally 3/4 done with the 100 days. It doesn't really feel like enough time has passed to be this far, but that might just have been me sleeping so much, so sorry, not sorry. Anyway, I went back to the nether to mine some netherite. I used TNT at first, but eventually I went back home and grabbed some beds. And there it is. 10 minutes in and I finally got my first netherite scrap. I'm gonna need 4 of those per 1 ingot though, so this takes a long time. But when I ran out of resources to mine with, I just went back up to the portal and went back to the overworld so I could shear as many sheep as I could get to get as much wool as I could carry and turn them into beds, because I'm not done until I have full netherite armor. This took multiple days to accomplish, as you guys know, but it's all worth it. I hopped back into the portal and continued mining. When I ran out of beds, I left once again to get more resources. I made an inventory full of beds, and then I went back down one final time. Oh, wait, no. I came back up again for more beds. Also, I smelted 8 netherite scraps ahead of time for some armor pieces, for some extra safety, you know? After making those, I slept for the night. Once I had enough beds, I went back one last time. For real this time. Once I had enough netherite to finish my armor, I was finally done with the nether for good. I wanted nothing to do with that place from here on. I finished the night by smelting the scraps and sleeping. So on day 82, I made the ingots and put them on the boots and helmet. I felt so good I decided to work on the house and listen to the music disc. I renovated the bedroom, or what I was calling my bedroom, and lit up the house a bit more. From there, I took the remaining ender pearls and made them into Eyes of Ender. I was planning on going to the end soon, and I wanted to make 16 eyes just in case most of them broke. Can never be too careful, so I just placed my bed down in the newly renovated space and put a second one next to it and slept for the night. On day 83, I had tried to breed my villagers, but they didn't want to. They took the food I gave them, and there was more than enough beds, but they just didn't want to, I guess. And I re-enchanted my sword, and it got sharpness 3 and knockback 2. I re-enchanted it for A, a new enchantment, and B, remember how I said I didn't want to go back to the nether? I forgot to mention I needed more ender pearls for more eyes, and the only place to get them on short notice is the Warped Forest, which wasn't ideal if I'm honest, but it had to be done. So before that, my base was completely overrun by zombies, and a zombie villager was there, so I went to cure him, but I think he despawned or something, and so, you know. I actually waited all day for nighttime to pass so I could cure him to get a spider eye, so here's a cool time lapse of the day turning into night. I got the potion, but he was gone before I got back. He turned into a regular zombie or something, so I made a weakness potion for nothing. I was really butthurt about that. Fun fact, day 84, I forgot to record for some odd reason. Again, I'm really sorry, but I did wake up in the new village house, so that's something. On day 85, I took the old iron armor I used to wear and put it up for display, and I enchanted my bow I made 50 days ago with flame. I was planning on finally using it, which took me long enough. I went upstairs and played the music disc I had again, and just kind of did general stuff around the property. Hold on, when did I get the extra 6 ender? I guess 84 wasn't just nothing, but whatever. I put some netherite armor up for display, and it's just kind of another relaxing day on the base. So, you know, just make some memories before I inevitably die or whenever I stop soon. I guess here's what I did for the day. Here's like a quick thing. On day 86, I started another map. It's coming down to the wire, and I won't have time to finish it if every map takes 3 days, you know? So, on the way to start the new maps, I forgot to take the boat, so I just found some trees and made one. Also, about halfway to the 3rd and 4th map I had to start, I saw the desert temple I had trouble with all those days ago. And I came across the weird thing I built to kill some endermen, and the village I went to get diamonds and my first 2 ender pearls. This world has real memories, and time has passed so quickly that I forget so many things have happened since we started. Moving on to day 87, I started 2 more maps and just had 1 more to start, and I was set. Speaking of history, I found the shipwreck we got potatoes from and then continued on my way. Even though it's cool, we don't have time to hang around too long. I got the last map started and headed back home to finish up all the cartography I've been doing, and found another amethyst geode. More for me. I made it home and expanded the maps. So on days 88 through 91, I worked on the maps and I found a horse, got some bees on the way. The horse lives with us now. Unfortunately, that's as far as I got on the maps. It just took too long to fill them all the way out. On day 92, I planted some flowers I got from the flower forest the bees are from, and speaking of bees, I gave them a home in the greenhouse. I also planted flowers there so they could make the crops grow faster. I don't need sugarcane anymore, so I just got rid of 2 sugarcane on each end to put the flowers. After that, I decided to check on the zombie stuff downstairs, and I got a chain chestplate out of it, which almost completes my set of chain armor. I just need some pants now. And from then on, I worked on getting so many arrows. So many arrows. I spent the rest of the day getting ready for the Ender Dragon fight. In the end, I made 3 stacks of arrows, plus 10. I decided to take all of my vast riches and put them in the hallway. I never made a ceiling or walls because I was lazy, and now I'm making it the swaggiest thing you've ever seen. So, you know what? Yeah. On day 93, I got everything I could and journeyed out to find it, the stronghold. But forgot a bed and extra food, so I had to run back. After that was dealt with, I grabbed the horse and continued on my way. As the sun set, I mined down into the ground and eventually found it. The place where I'm gonna have to start the Ender Dragon fight. It took me 15 minutes to find, but I did finally get to the portal, and I lit it. On day 94, I entered the end, and then I fell into the void right off the bat as soon as I entered. I had to pause. I was freaking out. Turns out it was just a glitch though, so that's cool. But as soon as I saw the health bar, I bridged over. This is the first time I've ever fought the dragon legitimately, and I was scared out of my mind. My bow skills are rusty, and I'm fighting a huge dragon. Who wouldn't be scared? I'm actually just gonna speed this up for you guys. Not too fast, so here you go.
In place, you got me chained, just like a dog. You got me trained, but I can't complain. Can't complain at all. Can't complain at all. Can't complain at all. So why don't you come over? Come over. Why don't you come over? Come over. Why don't you come over? I wish I had a couple minutes sitting offshore. I wish I didn't spend $1 billion at the liquor store. But that's how it goes. Yeah. I wish I pushed myself all the way. I wish I wasn't tired every day. But that's how it goes. Yeah. That's how it goes. My life is good. I can't complain. I love my friends. I love the rain. It doesn't rain enough. No. I wish it did. You come and go, just like a train. I'm locked in place. You got me chained, just like a dog. You got me trained, but I can't complain. Can't complain at all. Can't complain at all. So why don't you come over? Come over. Why don't you come over? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can come over whenever you want to, whenever you want to, whenever you want. Whenever you want. You can come over whenever you want to, whenever you want to, whenever you want.
Oh my god, I did it. That was so much that was so stressful. Holy crap. Oh my god. Okay. In actuality, it took me 10 minutes, but it felt like 40 hours. Like, it felt so long. I was finally back home, and the mobs of the night tried to end me. I just defeated a dragon. You guys are nothing. The Dragon Slayer, Jack the Goddess, you know me. I'm famous. I thought I deserved a good night's rest, so I slept. So from days 95 through 98, I had big plans, and I needed a lot of copper for it. So I mined and explored until I had barely enough. I went into every cave I could get into, and every copper ore I could get was mine. You know the Statue of Liberty? Yeah, I'm not making that, but I like the idea of oxidization and axolotls, so I'm making a statue of an axolotl to watch it age over time. I continued mining after starting the head, but we're kind of in a crunch time right now, so I needed to just get as much done as I could. And somewhere in here, I got 12 diamonds, so that's neat. And on day 99, I had a bunch of copper, and I made so many furnaces to cook it in, so many that I didn't have enough space to put them. And I ended up closing one of my chests for good just to cook this copper. I didn't have quite enough yet, so I went back down, but when I got back up, I slept like an idiot, and before I knew it, it's day 100. And all I have to do left is to finish this axolotl statue. I started this video with the idea of no matter what happens or why it happened, and this was recorded, but we made a Minecraft world a part of history for the people who are here, or just for me, whatever. I'm just rambling at this point, and here's the finished product. As soon as I was done with the axolotl statue, I dug out the hallway and made all of my ore stuff into blocks and filled it up as much as I could. And with that, the day turns into night, and I put my armor on a stand to just take in everything I made over these 100 days. To think, we started in a hole, and then that hole became a house, and that house into its own community, and so on. I towered up and looked over everything. And jumped. Hey guys, I really hope you did enjoy this video. If you made it this far, you probably enjoyed it. You know, if you didn't, that's okay too. But I do have a second channel that I do a lot of stuff on. If you want to go check it out, it's called Just Waking Up on YouTube. It will be down in the description, as well as all of the music I used for this video. I'm going to be putting all of the links down below, and I really hope you guys did enjoy, because it means a lot to me to even be anywhere on YouTube. I don't know, it's just a fun thing. And if you want to subscribe, thanks. If not, that's okay too. See ya. Have a great day.